Senator Pierce, let me rise in the defense of paid attorneys. I do have a question. Mr. Greenburg, do you think the U.S. Constitution today provides for equal rights on the basis of sex? Do you think that our Constitution today provides for equal rights for women and men on the basis of sex?
In a certain way, yes. I mean, certainly it provides for due process of law, and that's often understood as some kind of rule of fairness or equality. But you start using these, we're sort of coming back to the same point, which is that when you use these very general terms, it's kind of hard to predict kind of what they mean in 1,000 different circumstances. So I mean, you see how I'm answering your question, right, Senator?
Well, I think.
I mean, you're asking me about the term of art, okay? And the term of art has all these different applications. And, literally, hundreds of thousands of different contexts.
Well, I think, and I'm no constitutional scholar, but I think some judges have said that the 14th Amendment today does provide equal rights on the basis of sex.
That is true, yes.
And so if there's a law that says that as between sons and daughters inheriting property, sons are favored over daughters. Some courts have struck those provisions down.
Sure, yes.
Other judges have frankly said, no, there's nothing in the Constitution that prevents discrimination on the basis of sex. And I was just interested in know.
Well, with respect to property division, I think that I think it's certainly true that there's no court in the country that would find anything proper at all about different rewards to people on the basis of inheritance because of sex. So I mean, I think that is clearly I mean, as I understand the question, I mean, that's not a matter of controversy in the judiciary. And again, it's one thing to use these abstract terms, and it's another thing to talk about concrete questions of policy. And it's very easy to kind of walk on a landmine when we start mixing up these two things. And so my general view is it's better for legislatures to work on concrete questions of policy because the effects are much more easy to predict.
Well, and what I meant by that, I understood that some interpretations of the Constitution, you look at the founders of the Constitution, what was going on, what they anticipated when they read the Constitution, constitutional amendments. And I think that's the originalist interpretation of the Constitution. And so we need to look and see what the founders thought when they drafted the Constitution. And if that's not what they thought, then the appropriate vehicle is to amend that, as I understood. And so, as I understood some of the way. So I didn't know how you came down on that.
I mean, if you're asking about my views on originalism, I think that the way originalism is often understood is the idea of original public meaning. So you look at the words as they were understood by spectators or people at that time, the original public meaning of the document, rather than simply what's in people's minds, which is more mysterious thing, obviously.
Well, under an originalist interpretation of the Constitution, do you think the Constitution provides for equal treatment under the law on the basis of sex? I guess that's what I was getting.
Well, by and large, yes, because of Reconstruction amendments. I mean, if you're asking, I mean, the question includes the 14th Amendment, right? So by and large, the answer is yes, with respect to equal treatment between men and women. But I mean something a little different by equal treatment of men and women than some courts do, because again, some courts have found that equal treatment of men and women implies things like taxpayer-funded abortions, and I don't really view that as a question of equality completely. I mean, I think that courts have to look at two questions, which are equality and fairness. I think that policymakers need to look at two questions, which are equality and fairness. And so simply looking at equality in all circumstances is not always the best answer.
Anyone else on the committee?
Greenburg.